Former Deputy National Chairman, Southwest of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Chief Bode George, has debunked the story making the rounds at the weekend that he's prepared to help and work with President Bola Tinubu if he consults him on the issues of governance. Chief George, who has opposed Tinubu's presidential ambition many times and criticized the outcome of the presidential election that led to his inauguration, says he's being misquoted by the media while fielding questions with journalists in his Ikoyi office in Lagos last week. He was quoted in the media that he said, and I quote, "I am open to working with Tinubu for the interest of the country," end of quote. Joining us now to set the record straight on his position towards the newly inaugurated government of President Bola Tinubu is Chief Bode George, former Deputy National Chairman, Southwest of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Always my pleasure to join you. Yes, Ruben,
yes,
how
sir.
are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you, sir. Well, quickly, the interview you gave to a group of journalists was widely reported. I read the reports in at least about 6 newspapers, and all the 6 newspapers said the same thing.
Right.
How could they have misquoted you? Because they all stated that you said this country trained you, and that you are disposed to give him back to your country, and that if the president consults you at any time, you'll be willing to offer him the benefit of your knowledge and experience. And you're saying you didn't say so, you were misquoted. So what exactly did you say? Because 6, 7 newspapers can't all be wrong.
Now, well, people in your profession sometimes can be mischievous. Now, if there was a gentleman, first of all, the guy who posted it in his paper, the leadership, they were not at the press conference. Now, if they asked me that what would I do if Tinubu calls me, and I said precisely, exactly, that if he calls me, I will pray for Nigeria. Listen, I am not a flip-flopper by any profession. I retired as a general. What would he be calling me for? We don't belong to the same party. If he wants to say, Chief, good morning, and I say, Mr. President, that is if all the court cases are over. We are still in court. Even when Papa Olusi came, trying to convince me to go and pay a congratulatory visit to him, I said, no, I can't do that. So what futuristic thing, what would they be doing in their calculations? I've told you I have no personal qualms with this gentleman. The only differences we have are purely administrative. Their managerial style are not in my style. So why would I, at this age, be running around for a job? Job at what? The first time I was exposed to public management, I was 42 years old. Now I'm almost 40. My first child is 50 years plus. Now, why would I be looking for any job if he calls and you cannot disrespect him? But to put it in his own mind, that I, Bode George, will be looking for job at this time, come on, let some of these people put on their thinking cap and stop spreading unnecessary rumor. I am not a green chicken. I can fight when it is necessary, but I don't do it because I want to do it. In fact, I was one of the lackeys who was quoted, because it was my son who called me, that Daddy, hear what this fellow said, and I want to advise him, back away from me. Is that enough? That is the Kayamu boy. I did not say that, and I will never say it. I am not looking for any job, and I have reached the end of my own public career. Now, you look at the issue, like I said, at the age of 42, I was a military governor. I've had appointments in the villa. I have served. With you, Ruben, too, you remember where you were serving in the villa. I was always there, on consultations, on advice, and, with President Jonathan. I worked with Baba for 8 years, and I am not a deputy chairman Southwest. I was deputy national chairman of the party for the whole country. What am I looking for now? Let these boys be a little bit careful. This attitude, this cavalier attitude, and this irresponsible bunch of people trying to sell their newspaper, please clear from my own yard, because I am still a lion that I can bite. Somebody put a question, sir, if he calls you to come and work for him, I said, me work for him, not possible. But if he calls, I will pray for Nigeria. And I'm still saying it, because blessed are the peacemakers, because they will be called the children of God. Sermon on the mountain. So what am I looking for at this age? I don't even wake up that early to go to my own personal office. So what is it that I left back in public office? And I have stated emphatically that at the end of all these court trials and visitations, I will be going away from partisan politics. I had put in 25 years of my life in the military, and I thank the government of this country. I thank my God for giving me that opportunity, because I was well trained. And I have, by the end of this year, I would have put in another 25 years in politics. 50 years of my life in the service of this country. And I'm going to reinvent the wheel? No. They should please be very careful.
No.
Turn their attention to themselves. They got more problems to solve. And we'll pray that there will be peace in Nigeria. That's all. We are no longer where we were. And the respectability is gone. And you have a lot of young minds, you have a lot of young people. General Gawan was 31 or 32 when he became the head of state. Baba Obasanjo was 39 when he became the head of state. Me, I'm close to 80. I'll be looking forward to go and do what? They have so many younger generation, younger people, and we will play the Baba Dugo. If there is anything going, I will remain a public commentator. That's all, period.
All right, sir. Okay, thank you, Chief George. I'd like to rewind a little, or still perhaps talk about what happened at that meeting. Since, from what you've said, the report by one of the newspapers wasn't factual, I'd like you to share with us some of the things that perhaps the outcome of that meeting from your perspective. So as you mentioned, Paulusi was there, Justice Olorunimbe was there, and some other members of both the APC and the PDP. What we heard, or what we reported was that at that meeting, they had talked about a sort of some form of reconciliation, and you going to pay the president a visit, a goodwill visit, and the likes. Were there other things that were discussed at that meeting? Perhaps beyond you being involved in government, were there some outcomes from that meeting? Was there any message you asked the delegation to pass on to the president that you'd like to share with us this morning?
Let me be clear here. First of all, to me, it was a rare privilege for an older group to pay you a visit in your office. Culturally, they should have invited me to come. But because it would be politically inexpedient, they came to my office. They sent a very good friend of mine that they wanted to visit me. Of course, I obliged them. And we sat, we discussed, and they said, look, Bode, that was Papa Lucy, because it's an older person from my state and from my area too. We belong to two different political parties. He said, Bode, look, first thing is we want to apologize because we know we have offended you. 2, we would like us, irrespective of political affiliations, to set up a platform where we can discuss issues about our state. Brilliant. The first one I accepted. I said to Papa, I said, look, Papa, I am not God. I have forgiven, because the Almighty God tells us in his holy book, vengeance is not yours. Vengeance is his. And I have seen him at play. So I said, sir, Papa, let's roll on. I've done that. Number 2, let's set up this, a platform, and that would include people from different political parties and those who are not even politicians, to discuss issues that will positively impact on our state, especially the youth. I said, I have no problems with that. The last item was that I should also be like Governor of Oyo, Governor Wike, my little brothers, that I should also go to Abuja to go and congratulate Ashiwaju. I said, Papa, I am sorry, at this point, I can't do it. Why can't I do it? 1, I am a life member of the Board of Trustees of our party, the PDP. I'm an irredentist member of that party. 2, we are in court. We are still battling this issue of the presidential elections, governorship elections, and all the others. So it will be inappropriate, absolutely inexplicable on my part, being a very senior member, and I'm the one from the whole of Southwest representing the Southwest in the national caucus of the party. Should I do something that would not be acceptable to people? No. I wasn't brought up that way. And then Papa Lucy thanked me, and it was a beautiful, beautiful meeting, and I appreciated that. So, and the thing now they said was that now let's cease fire. Let the will of God prevail. I said, okay, sir. Once the courts have taken their decision, we pray for this country. Of course, every sane Nigerian who loves this nation, because we don't want to end up like Somali or end up like Sudan or all these failed states. We should pray for Nigeria because we want peace here. And I have been both in the military and in the civil life, been everywhere. I can tell you which room is what in that same villa. So what am I going to be looking for there? At this age, I'll be running around and I'm going to work. And work for who? If you want to discuss, come around to my office, fine. If he calls and says hello, I say hello. That's civil in life. The fact that we are 2 different political parties doesn't mean we are enemies. We can disagree without being disagreeable. For God's sake, let these job seekers go and look for their job. I have run my race. Look, I was governor. I was a director under General Dia. I retired from there as a Commodore. I had also been in the political arena of Nigeria, worked with Baba, worked with Yaradua. I was Director General of General Yaradua, late Yaradua's campaign, national campaign. And I have worked with President Jonathan. And what else? There are so many younger ones. I can't do that now. And all these boys spreading rumors to slam you and to red flag you, they need to revisit what we call Yaba Pausi, the mental hospital. What is it? And what I call them is they are convolutedly insane.
Chief, I said earlier that that meeting with journalists, conversation with journalists was reproduced in quite a number of papers.
Well, yeah.
Business Day newspaper has a full text, a full transcript, which they published. Now, two things I saw there in that interview, which you may wish to clarify.
Yes.
Two things that stood out for me. Number one,
yes,
you said you were rating the military 5%, and that even that 5% will require some introspection. No. Well, that's what I read in the interview.
Right.
Then number two, you said the performance of the Minister of Works is disgraceful because he didn't fix roads in Lagos.
Yes.
The last time I checked, Babatude Raji Fashola was Minister of Works for Nigeria, not for the city of Lagos. Because you were quoted as saying, he's our son, and he could not fix Lagos roads. I mean, are you recommending provincialism to federal ministers?
Ruben, let me tell you, the first question you asked me was, I rated the military 5%. That is not correct. That I have the tape. The fellow who led them, I said openly, confidently, and I am repeating it today, that it was Buhari's administration that I was referring to. How can I rate my own professional boys 5%? The administration was going, and I will tell you how it all started. One of the top boys in your profession came and said, sir, wouldn't it be nice to meet the media and let's have some kind of an overview of the performance of their government? That's the APC. I said, okay, fine, you can come. And that was why they came to my office. He organized it. And when they came to my office, I told them pointedly that as far as I'm concerned, the administration of General Buhari, and it's not him alone, that is the APC. He represents a political party. He's not there because he is representing the military. He was there because he was the elected president of Nigeria. So I told them that if I had to rate them, the administration, I would give them 5%, that they failed woefully. And I'm not afraid to say it, because you can all see the effect of the state of this nation. Where is Nigeria now? In the group of G20s, they used to invite us. Right now, they will invite Rwanda, Kenya, and all these little countries. The giant of Africa has been left out. Why? It's both our internal performance and our external performance. We are not doing well. We are drifting so badly, we are at the precipice. And God save us. That's what I told them, and I'm repeating it to you. The second issue was Fashola. Yes, Fashola was not the federal minister for Lagos. Only Binobajo Nijo Money Tareni Lakogbon. In my parlance, in the Yoruba parlance. Where is he from? Lagos. Do you know, in every state, you have federal roads, you have state roads, and you have local government roads. Who owns the major arteries? Apapa Road to Costain. Who owns that bridge by the UTC? Is it Lagos State or federal? So if you, as a Lagosian, you are there in your self-help is best help. It's going to come in now. People who live in Surulere now have found it absolutely impossible to get out. Which federal government will now come and fix the Akongwa Bridge? The Akongwa Bridge has been damaged for over a year and a half. Nothing till now, nothing is done. They have blocked that road, and they blocked the road coming from Costain through Apapa Road. You can't pass there. If you live in Surulere, you have to go all the way, and you can see the humongous traffic jam in Lagos. It's only one artery. And everybody, the way it's designed, everybody heads into Lagos Island or Victoria Island for work. It doesn't make, it's mind-boggling. Okay, look at the roads that led to between the other states in the north. They've been fixed. Why can't he do our own? He couldn't do it. Why? That's all I'm saying. And I am not saying it because I want to praise him or praise that, but these are facts. These are federal roads and not state roads.
Okay.
I have been in government, you know.
Yes.
So.
Well, Chief George, thank you for for your time so far. I just want to ask you to weigh in on what's perhaps been a defining moment in the few days of President Tinubu's tenure, which of course is his announcement of the removal of fuel subsidy and the consequences thus far. I mean, currently the government is in talks with organized labor to see how they can work around ensuring that people do not suffer too much from the impact of the removal of fuel subsidy. Whilst there have been many, statements in support of the removal, both from international and local organizations, the criticism by a number of people is the how this was done, the timing of it, and the fact that perhaps there ought to have been certain measures or plans in place. But I'd like to get your view on the announcement by the president on the removal of fuel subsidy. Or, how should it have been done? Do you agree with it? Or how best could it have been done?
You remember when they asked me, what would I do if Bola calls me? I said, I will pray for Nigeria. One, I am not in that field of operation. That's not my area of operation. But what I have read, I've listened to all sides of arguments. He has told us there's a big hole in the finances of this country. And that big hole, that black hole, has been absolutely monumental. It's a leakage where people have stolen so much of our wealth. Fine. When you are at that level, in that villa, you need a lot of prayers. Sometimes you can have very salient points, but your approach in resolving it may be calamitous. To me, the delivery was okay. He said, yes, he was going to remove this. And of course, the humongous pain you are inflicting on everybody, because the price of petrol will now go from 168 naira per liter to about 500 naira per liter. That's a serious jump. It would affect both the commuters. It would affect even those who are not working for government, those in the private sector. The market, the Mami market, you go to buy vegetables and all that, everything will skyrocket. So what do? It's like, I won the election. The people voted for me. It means you are saying that the will of the people put you there. So what do you do to the people? Do you now go and start impinging on them? Pain? No. So the approach and the delivery, you don't put a cart before the horse. You have sat down, you have done a thoroughbred analysis, the impact assessment, and what they will do. Not just slam dunk everybody, and then we are in this quagmire. Of course, people will react. Oh, we will have palliatives. What palliatives? Instant. Look, when you are in that place, and I've been there, I've worked with 3 presidents, I have worked as a military governor, and you need guidance of the Almighty God to deliver you, to direct you, to protect you, so that as you go on that journey, you will do less damage to the people. This was a calamity that was far more than expected. You have just won election, you claim. So the only thing you can do to say thank you to the people is to pin and push and afflict them. It's not right. It's not right. So we are waiting for the results in the court, my party. And I am sure that justice will be done. And once that is done, whoever wins, all of us will need to pray for this country. You need to pray for your leaders, because if they misdirect us from and we must alter course, because the course of action, the journey we are going, we are in a very terribly wrong direction. So many areas of our economy has collapsed completely. We are hanging in there. We are at the precipice. We need prayers, not power. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It is not that you are there, you are swinging your power. No, you need the people. The will of the people is what put you there. And you must manage the resources of this country for the betterment of the people. Not to yourself or to your child or your dad. You must put a smile on the faces of people. Even my little aburo, Femi Bajabiamila, also came to me to say, Baba, look, Egbon, let's try and be peaceful. I said, fine, but let them institute skill acquisition programs in every local government of the state, so that these young ones can have skills. There is a popular saying, if I have to give you fish, I'll feed you. But no, you can't perpetually be giving them fish, food to eat. Teach them how to fish so they can be on their own. We need a new beginning. We have so bastardized the system, bashed the system, and it is not only in Lagos or West. The whole of this country, from Sokoto to Calabar, from Borno to Lagos, from Jigawa to the Delta, we need the intervention of the Almighty God to give us leaders, managers, who will be more committed to serve the people rather than serve themselves.
Okay.
We are in a quagmire. It is so disturbing to me. And I pray, the only thing I know what to do, pray to God Almighty to guide. That's all you can do. Whatever it is will be recorded on the pages of history. Whether you do it well or you don't do it well, the pages of it. General Buhari is out now. The post-mortem analysis will be on the pages of history. What did he do in this sector? What did he do here? All those things that he commissioned that were not completed, who took him there to complete them? People are not stupid. We can see. So it will be written against him. Look at the electoral process. I was dancing in my office when he made that international broadcast that is going to leave a positive legacy to take us from the doldrums of hell. These interlopers, these manipulators, things done by hand, to go through the most modern technology. What did we find? Absolute garbage. They reverted back to that, and we are back in the Stone Age. These are issues that are affecting the minds of the sane people of this country. I'm not talking about praise singers. They are the ones looking for whatever, and whatever else you are looking for. The day you die, end of story.
Chief.
So why don't you do something?
Chief, I would like to ask you for one more clarification. You were quoted in all those newspapers that reported your interaction with journalists as saying there is nothing personal between you and President Tinubu, but that you disagree with his methodology of governance. I'm quoting now. They said methodology of governance.
Yes.
Okay, what is it exactly that you
Right.
disagree with in terms of his approach to governance? Now that he's there, he has gone from the city to the center. So what red flags should we look out for?
You know, thank you, Ruben. You hit the nail on the top, as usual. Now, one of the major differences is lack of in-depth analysis on your managerial style. Now, let me tell you, on your inaugural day, you made a pronouncement that I am removing the subsidy, fuel subsidy. So now, do you know the pain that has caused? The moment he made that statement, we started seeing queues in petrol stations. When my boys came back, they said, sir, now they are selling petrol at 488 naira per liter. I said, what? What was the price? Just that statement. That is not a super manager. A manager would have done an analysis, the impact on the people. What do you think public office is defined for? In any political class, public office is defined as the management of the resources of the land for the benefit of the people. Now, if he has thought through this, thoroughly, the impact it will have, how do I assuage the pain? What would I do to reduce, to ameliorate the pain this will cause on the people who gave me the mandate to manage the resources of their country for them? And so it comes to what I'm saying. If you, maybe because I was in the military, do you think they will give me maybe about 100 boys for an operation which can claim the lives of every one of them, or some of them, that I'm to take them for an operation, and you wouldn't have sat down to go into in-depth analysis? What are the factors leading us there? What are the instruments, the powers that they have that we don't have? What are the intelligence reports? What are these? What are that? You would sit down. This is why I said we have our differences. I had been in public office since the age of 42. I was a military governor of 2 states now, the old Ondo state. You mean to have gone there? I wish I could bring the report of the then president, my big boss, General Babangida, when he visited Ondo State, what he read, what he wrote as commendation. You don't go to public office and think you are there to manage the resources of the people for your benefit, for your daughter, for your child, for your son, for your wife, and your family members. That is absolutely incorrigible. You can't do that. The essence, and we were in the military. We were not voted in, but we needed. There was a systemic way by which we were able to govern. Because there was not the legislative arm of government under military administration. But you must positively impact on the people because you are managing the resources for their benefit. And so this is where we differ. You just don't wake up, slam dunk a policy that has not been well thought of. So what other differences are we talking about? Those are the issues that I'm saying. Think through. Get all your eggheads. Get all your team. Look at the issues. Let them give you the papers. The impact. How do you avoid pitfalls? How do you avoid some nuisance value as you journey through that place? It's not a matter of sitting down there and you don't care what happens. You have to care. Because you campaign, you beg the people, please trust me. That's all it is. When you are campaigning, you are saying, please trust me, that I will manage your resources for your benefit. That is the essence of it. And that's why we are saying, let the will of the people prevail. How do you get the will of the people to prevail? A proper electoral process. When people go to the polls, we are saying, I've listened to this campaign. This is the man I believe can manage the resources of my state for my benefit. But what are we finding? Manipulations of the papers, of the result sheets, and all that. So they emerge not having any concern whatsoever to the people. So these are the major areas of separation. That's all. And I will say it to his face. I will say it anywhere. Because it is negatively impacting on this country. I was born here. I grew up here. I went to school here. This country trained me. We got to put something back. Each time I look back, at the time I was growing up in that Lagos Island, there was sanity there. There was the communal living in that place. The fear of God was our centerpiece. But you go there now, totally confused. I mean, and I'm still living through that. It gives me so much pain in my heart. This is the state? Is this what we are living for this future generation? No. We got to do something much better than this. Look at little Rwanda there. The head of state had completely transformed that nation. With all these people, even if you meet somebody at the airport, what he will tell you about his nation, you will be so happy for them. That is what we want. Everybody is crying. It's not a matter of tribal issues now. This nation is drifting. It's taking in so much water. As a seaman, if your ship is taking in so much water and you don't quickly arrest it, you go below the sea. Right. That's not what we want.
Yes, sir.
That great country, that nation, that, the giant of Africa.
Yes.
For every 10 Nigerians, 7 are for every 10 Africans, 7 are Nigerians. Go to anywhere in the world, in any profession, you will find our people. So what the goddamn hell is wrong with us at home? We need prayers, and we need committed people. We can still salvage it if they are very serious, and the people should demand it.
Absolutely. All right, Chief George, very quickly, because we'll soon start rounding off. You talked about the fact that, yes, we need prayers, but you also talk about the importance of people and that we can still salvage. On the road to salvaging or returning the glory of this great nation, the giant of Africa, what would be your immediate recommendations, particularly to this administration? He's removed subsidy. What are the other policies or perhaps things they ought to put in place to restore the glory of this nation?
I belong to one political party, and the final decisions on the election is yet to be publicized, to be done. We're in court. But as a Nigerian, I want to answer you. My philosophy of life is about leadership. Leadership is about managing the people, assuaging their pains, putting a lot of smile on the faces of the people, the adults. They must be gainfully employed. Education is second to nothing. Education makes people easy to govern, but impossible to deceive. Education makes people easy to rule, but absolutely impossible to cheat, because they will question you. They will query you. So our education must be the number one. Give the people the education necessary for them to understand. Even your policies. If what you have is to be surrounded by the lackeys, even if you are drowning, they're telling you, sir, you are the best swimmer. You yourself will know that all is not well. Education gives you the tools to do that. Number two, there are all sectors, the agricultural sector, the economy of the nation. Today, in this country, the interest rate in any bank is between 28% and 30%. Which company can survive? And where do you get money to run your business, if not through the banks? What are the banks doing perpetually? You know what they do? They're looking for the dollars. They are more concerned about the dollars than ensuring that they lend money to people, either for mortgage to build their homes or to support their businesses. I have also been chairman Nigerian Ports Authority. I have also been chairman Bank of Industry. When I was chairman Bank of Industry, the managing director, and I worked assiduously together to turn it around. That company was perpetually in the red. Today, go and see the methodologies that were put in place. Is making so much profit and helping so many industries. That is what you do when you go to public office. You must impact on the people. When we were in MPA, my executive director operations, brilliant sea dog, came about that, sir, he wrote a paper. He was telling me about trying to do concessions so that the ports can be better managed. There will be competition from one port to the other, to one terminal to the other. I said, okay, give me the paper. Go and write a paper. He wrote the paper. Today, MPA is making so much input, so much money, so much profit. What? Because Captain Abidoye wrote the paper. We sent it through the Ministry of Transport to the President. They approved it. Go to the ports today. Have you heard about any more port workers going on strike? You have competition now. And the amount of money wasted in buying equipment to manage every terminal is no longer in the purview of MPA. All MPA does is to manage how much tonnage comes through your own terminal. And you pay a certain amount in dollars to MPA. That is what I call class. But in the end, what did they do to us? They lied against us. But that is not what I'm trying to drive at. Someday, my memoirs will be there. What have you done when you are in public office? It will be on the pages of history. People will read them so that you can mentor the younger generations coming. Take another sector, modern technology. Look at the electoral process. What is so difficult? I was trained as a weapons systems engineer in the Navy. Can you imagine that you were at war with your ships at sea and a missile has been fired at you? You know, the modern systems, the early warning radar will pick up the incoming missile. The computers will compute how much speed it's coming, what time it will hit you. It will do all that computation and assign a weapon to shoot it down. And if you now have a glitch, like Professor Yakubu told us that there was a glitch on the electoral process, that day you will regret you were born. A glitch, well, it means the missile will hit you and kill all of you.
On that note, sir.
Oh, please, let's turn around. Let's turn around.
On that note,
and we can do it.
On that note, Chief George, we'd like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show today.